at this. This is what we live for, is this beautiful food. Look at this squash. It's so big. We're gonna cook some squash today. We're going to make a kale slaw, not with cabbage, with kale. We're gonna pick a few blueberries. We're gonna hit the grill. So welcome back to Cooking a la LaLa. Enjoy the show. Something sweet, and the only reason I come to this, I'm not a big sweet person. I think y'all know this. I'd rather go to bed with a bag of Zapp's chips than a candy bar. But this is the season of Pearson's peaches. They are the best peaches you will ever know. They're grown in Georgia, and they're just delicious. I get them every week at the East Atlanta Village Farmers Market, but you can also get them at the Ponce City Market Shed on Tuesdays, Decatur, Wednesdays, Grant Park Market, Sunday morning. Google Pearson peaches and you'll find out where you can get them, but you must get them because they are the best peaches that you'll ever eat, and South Carolina can kiss my butt. These are Georgia peaches. All right, so we're gonna make something that's a little bit similar in texture to the posset that we made a couple of weeks ago, or a month ago at this point. Blancmange. It's blanc means white, mange, manger, to eat. It's funny that you would call this a blancmange. Look at all of these white, boring looking ingredients. It is a wonderful thing to be the conduit for your summer berries, your strawberries, your blueberries, your peaches. And it's going to involve some gelatin, some heavy cream, some buttermilk, some sugar, some LaLa crema, lemon zest, lemon juice. We're going to use these ingredients to make a wonderful dessert that is worthy of all of your beautiful summer fruits. We have a cup of heavy cream and a half a cup of sugar. As I say, don't be cheating on me. Don't get any of that stevia or low fat heavy cream. I don't know if there could ever be such a thing. Anyhow, we're gonna let this heat up until the sugar dissolves and it comes to a simmer. And then we're gonna add our gelatin that has turned into a lovely gelatinous paste. We're gonna add that to this. Here's our heavy cream and our sugar at a simmer. I'm gonna add in our, lower that heat a little, we don't want that to get out of control, our gelatin and milk. And we're just gonna stir this until it dissolves into this heavy cream sugar mixture. And when this has dissolved and it's all consistent and even, we're gonna take it off the heat for about 5 minutes so it cools off a little bit. And then we're gonna add the rest of our ingredients and put them into our molds or our teacups or whatever we choose, ramekins. It's time to ladle. All right, so I've got these little what have yous that I got at Lakewood. Remember Lakewood Antiques 100 years ago? Those were the days. Emilio Purée and I used to go to Lakewood. And I'd say, don't let me buy another farm tool from Terry. I don't need any more rakes and hose on the wall in my house. And then this is just going to be in this little ramekin. I'm not coating these with cold water. We'll just cut up some fruit and put it on top of this. It'll have the nice flavor of vanilla, lemon, the tang of a little buttermilk, the richness of that heavy cream. It's just going to be delicious. So we're just going to chill these overnight, and tomorrow we're going to unplate them and add our fruit, and it'll be just a gorgeous little southern dessert. Baby back ribs. It's about time we did something like this. We had the beef short ribs a while ago. We have gotten this little rack of ribs. It's just the two of us, so I didn't get more. And Tom has made this wonderful rub from smoked paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, cumin, oregano, salt, pepper, dry mustard. That recipe will be on the website. So we're gonna rub these, and the reason I didn't get all cute is we're getting ready to go out to the garden, and I want this piece of meat to be sitting in this rub for several hours before we put it on the big green egg tonight. What I'm doing here is I'm removing the silver skin, and the silver skin is this white membrane that is on the bone side of your rack. That's the meat side. This is the bone side. And what you need to do is remove this, because if you leave it on there, it prevents the rub and the smoke from penetrating the meat. And that's what you want to eat. So I found a little starting point at the end, and I've just gotten my paring knife up under there, and I'm going to pull this. It helps if you get a paper towel. If it's really frisky, sometimes I will get the paper towel here and then get some pliers. But let me see if these muscles are still good and strong. All right, I've gotten it started. And so this is just going to be one sheet, right? I didn't get all of it, but I'm going to come back. So that's pretty good, actually. And I'll do another run at this thing, and then we will have the silver skin mostly removed. But yeah, I could not do this if I didn't have the help. Some of y'all might be squeamish with all this flesh. I would not be able to hold on to this if I didn't have the paper towel. But anyhow, you get the drift. It might take a couple of rounds of pulling, but it's worth the trouble to get this silver skin off of your meat, because you want it to be able to absorb all the flavors that you've invited to the party. Let me see if I can get this one going down the other way. Yeah, see, it's once you get it started. Oh, see, I can't do it without the frickin', there we go. Silver skin, done. All right, so I'm gonna liberally, because I'm a liberal, put this rub on this meat here and both sides. And I'm using this scoop and not my fingers in here, because we're gonna just store this for our later uses, because it's a really delicious rub. It's got that brown sugar that gives it some sweetness. It's got the smoked paprika, which gives it some smoke. We're gonna smoke it in with some apple wood or hickory wood, whatever we have. I can't remember what we have. But this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna have some smoked ribs. We're gonna make a squash casserole with that, see that squash over there on the counter? Woo-wee! Anyway, this is gonna be a great meal, and it's gonna go wonderful with all of the cucumber salads and soups and slaws and such that we have. All right, well, there you go. We're gonna let these sit for several hours. We're gonna go out to the garden and get nasty, and we're gonna put these in the fridge, and we're gonna have us some good pork ribs tonight. Look at this kale. It's still growing. It hasn't bolted. It's still delicious. We have been eating it constantly, and I'm not even a big kale fan in general, but I have become such a fan of this because it is a sturdy, I'm not going to say season-long green. So I think what I'm going to do is make a slaw with some of the peppers that we've harvested and some cucumbers and this kale. And that's going to go great with our baby back ribs, y'all. Ribs, everybody loves them, unless you're a vegetarian or a vegan. We would have shot the whole process of us getting these things on here, but we needed literally 4 hands, and Roscoe, show Roscoe. He just said, I'm not going to help. He's a little butt. All right, but I'm going to show you what we did. Look at that smoke. We have cut that rack of ribs that y'all saw us prep this morning in half. And I also remembered I had a small pork shoulder in there. We had all that extra rub, so Tom has built this beautiful fire, and we've added some of this applewood chunks that we have soaked in water for about an hour, and we're going to cook this meat on a 300-degree fire for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. We'll flip it around halfway through, check and see how it's doing. We might need more time, we might need less. The shoulder will definitely need more, but we're here to talk about the ribs tonight. So you see how it started, and you'll see how it finishes. The ribs are out there smoking, so is that. But I'm gonna make one of my favorite recipes, squash casserole. The way my mother made it is so much healthier, but I don't think so. I clipped this, y'all will see I have a pattern. I clipped this out of the AJC 100 years ago. Tom just looked at it and he said, "Oh, Joey Avanasco, that's a really old recipe." Because is he still at the paper?
No.
He's not there anymore. That's how you know. Oh. Anyway, it's another one of these slutty, you know, there's a lot of heavy cream and grated cheese. But anyhow, normally you start with a few tablespoons of olive oil. But remember from episode 1, we made all that schmaltz? I'm starting with schmaltz instead. I'm going to turn this on. Just wanted to let you know, if you're abiding by my orders and making and using schmaltz, you can use it here. Or you can use olive oil or vegetable oil. I'm going to saute about an onion, a whole onion, diced up. Chopped up, diced up, between a dice and a chop. I'm going to add all these squashes that we picked today. Beautiful yellow, and this one's called a gray squash. It's not a zucchini, but it's called a gray squash, but it's a beautiful pale green. We're going to add some heavy cream. We're going to add some panko, which is a breadcrumb, except it's better, it's flakier. A bunch of cheese, and we're going to put it in a casserole. Oh, and this is how I'm preparing our dish. Remember this? Save your butter butts. And preheat your oven to 350. And when we come back, this will be sauteing. The house will smell amazing. You can see the onion has started to get some color. And you know my mantra, color is flavor. Oh, and my other mantra is, fat's where it's at. So our onions have gotten some color and flavor. I'm going to add this squash, just picked today. Delicious. Woo! So yeah, we're going to give this some time in here to soften and color and coat with some of this schmaltz down here at the bottom. If it looks a little bit dry, I might add some more schmaltz or some olive oil, just to make sure it's coated with fat. Love it. And when this gets some color, we will add the heavy cream. I'm going to give this a shake. We'll add the heavy cream and the cheese and the panko and anything else. Oh, I'm going to add some of these chili flakes just to keep things interesting. Okay, our squash has gotten some beautiful color. You can see here, and it's gotten soft. I'm going to just pierce it with a knife here. Yeah, so that knife goes in nice and easy. I'm going to add the fat, the heavy cream. I'm going to take the heat down. And we're going to let this cream warm up, because it's cold cream. It's been in the refrigerator. And then we're going to add the cheese. And I like to use sharp cheddar, and I like to use white cheddar because orange cheddar just sort of obscures the beautiful color of your vegetables. I think the flavor is probably going to be great no matter what you do. And you could use any kind of cheese you like. If you wanted to use Gruyere or Parmesan, not Parmesan, Parmesan you could top. it with if you wanted to. But I would use any cheese that you like. You could use goat cheese. I wouldn't use blue cheese as much as I love it because that has a really strong flavor, and I think it would cover up the beautiful flavors that and beautiful and subtle flavors that this fresh squash has. So we're gonna let this simmer for a minute. I'm gonna throw in the cheese and then the panko, season it with a little salt and pepper, and then we'll be putting it into the 350 oven for about 25 minutes, maybe 30. Okay, this is the time. The ribs have been flipped. They went an hour one way, they went an hour another way. Do you need my help? This looks like we need to wrestle these ribs out that grill. We're gonna wrap these ribs in some aluminum foil. Some would say tin foil. I'm saying aluminum foil because that's what the box says. Anyhow, Tom's making a nice little tight packet for that one. And then here comes the other one. You want me to hold up that? You got it. I'm not going to bother you, honey. You are the grill master. You're the king. My king. All right, so look at that beautiful color. Let's flip it over and show them the other side. All right, so we're going to wrap these up in foil. We're going to leave that shoulder on there. And we're going to put these ribs back in there. And so they will really steam in these little foil pouches. Yeah, that's right. You can take that off. Here, I'll move this. This is what you call teamwork, people. Y'all got to find yourself a husband who knows how to work tongs. Just kidding. Yeah, you can flip that guy. Look at that piece of meat. All right, and the ribs are back on, and see you later, babe. Well, where the hell did this come from? I didn't put it there. Boda. Delicious. Someday I'm going to get a sponsorship from those people. Okay, we've added the cheddar cheese, the sharp cheddar cheese. In with that cream, you can see those strings going, I love you. And now I'm going to put in, I don't know if I'm going to put in all of this. The panko is there just to let you know that you need bigger jeans. Anyway, we're going to put this into this prepared dish. All right, with much muscle and teamwork, we have gotten this into our prepared dish. Look at the beautiful colors of that zucchini and summer squash. This recipe, and I will post it, the Horizon will post it, calls for crushed crackers on top. I just think we don't need no stinking crackers. This is just great. So I'm going to put it in with this pot holder I made in 2nd grade. Not really, I made it 2 weeks ago. Putting it in. All right, 350 oven for about half an hour. And we're going to come back and I'm going to make a slaw out of some kale that we picked today. This is the kale we harvested today. I've already chopped up a bunch of it. Kale is a great, I was just a convert to kale. If you chop it up fine like this and you dress it, you really don't need to cook it. So what we've got here is some finely, kind of a chiffonade of kale. I'm going to take these big pieces out. And I have chopped up some cucumber from the garden, some pepper from the garden, carrots from the grocery store. How gauche. Celery from the grocery store. This is some radish, a couple of radishes from the garden. Anyhow, this is just kind of how you make slaw. And y'all are probably about to get tired of everything I like to make because it's all about to get seriously redundant. I've made a dressing. We kind of did the same thing last week. This is mayonnaise, apple cider vinegar, and shallot. And the buzzer is buzzing and I have no idea. Oh, yes, I do. So we're dressing this salad. this slaw. Thank you, darling. And it's just pretty. I like to put things with some different colors. Again, the visual interests. You know, those carrots add a nice visual interest and a little bit of that red radish. And this bowl, I'd have to tell you, this was my grandmother's bowl. Flo Kirby. I love it so. Anyhow, I like to pull it out when I'm making the kind of food that my grandmother made for me. But Flo, I love you and I miss you. I've still got your bowl. All right, we're going to take out the slutty. Oh, I'm going to need some help with this one. Oh, God, this is beautiful. This is that squash casserole. Look at that. Lord. We'll let that sit here for about 10 minutes to kind of congeal, let all those, the cream kind of come back into the squash. We've got our beautiful kale slaw. Not coleslaw, it's kale slaw. And you need something like this with some vinegar to go with your fatty ribs and meat. We're going to go look at our ribs and see how that's going. Okay, it's time to open the big green egg and see how these ribs, they've been in their little aluminum foil cocoons. Tom has on his asbestos glove. Owie. So what we're going to do is we're going to unwrap these ribs. Oh, Lord. And we're going to put them back on here. Here, we'll put this just, you know, ooh, yeah, pour them juices, baby. Juices is where it's at. Second packet. And what we're going to do with this pork shoulder or butt, it's the same thing, y'all. We're going to wrap that baby up in this foil that's been housing these ribs. We're going to let the ribs get a big, ooh, baby. We're going to get some heat on these ribs. Yeah. And dumping that juice. You don't want to lose any of that juice, that moisture, those spices. And then we're going to take off this big old hunk and there we go. All right, so when we come back, we will have our ribs will be about, I don't know, 20 minutes away from being done. And we're going to let this pork shoulder cook a little bit more. It takes a little bit longer. So y'all won't be able to see us gorge on that. All right. Hey, Roscoe wants some pork. Cheers. Y'all, we got us a country supper. We got cornbread that I made the other night because I made some turnip greens and, you know, the two go hand in hand. Squash casserole, super slutty. We've got these ribs that are just beautiful. Kale slaw. I'm gonna cut. Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Pop's pickles. This is the one that had that grape leaf in there. Let's see if we can hear the crunch. Oh, yeah. Refrigerated pickle, y'all. So good. And I want to take a bite of this baby back rib. All right. That's it. Y'all can go home. I don't know how this is going to work out. The times I've made this before, we just served them in the ramekin. But I'm trying to do something fancy here. Oh, look. It's fancy, y'all. All right, so this is the Blancmange. This is the buttermilk. Look, I made a coulis. This is peaches, a little bit of sugar. You know, if I worked in a fancy restaurant, this would all...
You'd be fired.
I would be fired. I would be out on the street showing my leg and seeing if I could get somebody to buy me a Boda box. But these are peaches, Pearson peaches. Oh gosh, it's so good. So I just put the peaches, some peaches, chopped up peaches, and some sugar and lemon juice. I heated it up and I pureed it. And I know where they came from, honey. Blueberries that we picked today from the garden. That is so inelegant. Actually, that's kind of cute. All right, so it's not the cutest thing you've ever seen. First, I want to taste it just without all the condiments. Actually, I like it. There's so many ways you can do this. You can add cinnamon, you can add cardamom, you can steep it, but it's a nice bland conveyance for the very beautiful fruits of the season, which are our peaches and our blueberries. We can make it look better, but you know, I was in a rush, y'all. I was watching Fleabag. Thank you so much for watching Cooking a la LaLa. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you're interested in any of the recipes, as always, go to Horizon Theater's website. It's starting to rain. I think that's a good sign.
For more information and to download all the recipes that you've seen on this episode of Cooking a la LaLa, please visit horizontheater.com.